Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World. 904-800-STAV. Call us. We'll solve all your problems. I'm fucking pumped. I got my boy Chrissy D. Chris Distefano came all the way to Astoria from his Staten Island manse.
Yes,
from the Distefano acres.
Yeah,
in Staten Island.
I came from one Republican part of New York to the other one. Yeah, I like it, baby. Red to red. That's where my car goes.
It is so fucking funny because this neighborhood, you do have that. They're just hanging on the half of it is still a lot of Trump 2024.
It's what it is
around, dude.
Italians and Greeks. It's like we know what it is. Of course, it's big right. They're for the wall. Yeah, it's big. Yeah. It's big pro life.
Well,
like, it's what it is.
Italians is one thing. It's because it's like, all right, you motherfuckers, you're clinging on to being Italian. You guys are fucking. You've been sanitized by America.
Yes,
you've been here especially New York Italians that they trace their family back to like the 1910s. Yeah, it's like you're not. You're Italian. You're not Italian. You know what I mean?
Greeks are the real.
But Greeks, it's so funny because like half of Greeks are like. I remember being in Greektown in Baltimore and arguing with someone about illegal immigration. Okay. And him talking about how these Mexicans are coming in, they're fucking. Meanwhile, he's a carpenter. He employs an illegal immigrant. Yeah. And the guy he was playing cards with in his living room snuck in from Greece through Canada. He was an illegal immigrant. It's like the hypocrisy within immigrant Republicans is not. You don't even have to wait a couple. Italians laundered it a couple generations. Greeks are like, no, my friend is an illegal immigrant, but he's white, so it's cool. You know what I mean? It's like so fucking funny how.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's full of shit, including me. I took my career as far as it can go, being Distefano, being the Italian. The truth of the situation is I did my Ancestry.com. I'm mostly German. Yeah. And it feels, I swear to God, and it feels like Germans and the alt-right are getting hot again. So I'm going to go to that side now. You're gonna switch and I'm going to keep trying to get this Patreon up just a little bit more to my other side.
I saw you on Gutfeld. It's working.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, my Ancestry.com said Fox News. That's what you are, baby. Yeah. So, baby, you got to just keep riding.
I respect that.
Dude, but look at you, man. You're fucking crushing it in fucking basketball shorts with no underwear.
That's right. My nuts are out. I am free balling.
But it's good, dude. I love a guy who's making fucking mad money with no socks on. That's you, dude.
That's the whole thing. Stavvy's World, this is a real look at. It's like if a diner owner, because let's be honest, that's one way my life could have gone. Right. Greek restaurateur. Because I would never wanted a boss. I would have wanted to be my own boss. Yeah. So this is like if a diner owner was your therapist is kind of the vibe of this show.
But which is awesome. I think that you've tapped in what's great about you is you've tapped into who you are. And I think I would imagine seriously, you can probably get more pussy than Matt Rife.
I don't know about that.
I think you can, dude.
Tough. It's tough.
I think you can. Because girls see you and they're like, this guy fucking doesn't give a fuck. Where Matt's got lip injections. Sure. Which I fucking love, dude. I DM Matt every day.
Fuck Matt, sure, yeah. Would I? Would I get top?
I fucking love him. Yeah. But you literally, it's the oozing with confidence that I think is attractive to guys and girls, attractive to fucking Elvis, dude.
Yeah.
Is he a Jew?
He's Albanian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's a Jew to Italians.
To us, yes. He's on the same level as Jews. To Greeks. Yeah, they're equal. There's for different reasons.
Bro, one time I grew up in Ridgewood, Queensbrook, and Elvis might know there's a lot of Albanians that live in Ridgewood.
Elvis with a D.
Oh, with a D. Yeah, all right. I'll still say Elvis if that's all right.
Anything to disrespect him, that's all good. Yeah.
I hope he fucking gets found dead hovering over his toilet bowl with his pants down.
He did, real quick, he has passed out shitting. You did almost die shitting in a very Elvis manner.
Oh my God, that was so scary.
This fucking guy.
What happened? Yeah. That was back in Baltimore, like 8 years ago. It was right after I started dating my girl, and like I was at her place. I slept over, and she's like, I gotta go to work. You could stay here, let yourself out. I was like, okay, cool. I was taking my time. My stomach was feeling fucked up. I like took a shit, and then I basically like got in the shower and like passed out. I like woke up on her bathroom floor, like just completely passed out. Yeah. No, yeah, I passed out like trying to go shit or something, and then I remember like waking up covered in like my diarrhea on her bathroom floor, and I was like, what the fuck happened? I was like freaking out. I just started a job at that time too, so I texted my boss. I was like, I can't come in today. I'm really sorry.
I'm covered in shit on the floor, on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, I'm like a toddler.
And I like ran into the shower, cleaned up, then went to the like convenience store, got some cleaning supplies. I was like, where'd she keep her fucking Swiffer and mop and paper towels?
I wish she would have came home like she forgot her keys. Sees this guy covered in his own shit.
I wish
and then she stays with you. That's a real woman.
Yeah, she did.
She held it down for a little longer. They dated for a little longer.
But,
yeah, it was a kind of a dumb bitch. this is
the ex-girl.
This is a few girlfriends ago for our friend Eldest. We've known each other since we were little kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had a very Elvis run-in with a toilet.
Right,
he was close to dying on the toilet. By just passing out.
She came home that night. She was like, it smelled like a hospital or something. Like someone just cleaned like the floor of a hospital.
And by the way, this man is covered in hair. Do you understand how tough getting that diarrhea out must have been?
Yeah, because you're probably caked. You're a hairy guy.
Your legs were probably caked in shit water.
Yeah,
dude. But so Albanians though, and Eldest, you know this because your people are fucking like next level crazy, like next level, like they are, in my opinion, the craziest group of people. People talk about Russians, Ukrainians, Puerto Ricans. I'm like, dude, Albanians are next fucking level. I saw this.
Yes,
I was playing basketball at Farmers Oval. If you're from Ridgewood, Queens, Brooklyn area, you know this park. You know that a lot of Albanians are there. We're playing ball, right? We're 15, 16 years old. Some guy, pick up, elbows a kid who's happens to be Albanian. They get into a little scuffle. Shit like that happens. The Albanian kid says, I'm coming back with my family. So we're like, whatever. Who cares? Like, nobody's even paying attention. We're just, the next guy comes, we're playing ball. Hour, 2 hours go by. All of a sudden, into the park, drives two... there was like two Albanian loads of people on ATVs.
ATVs?
On ATVs. There's 4 or 5 Albanians on each ATV. Bro, 2 of them jump out, chainsaws.
Oh, like chainsaws!
I swear to God. And go, who fucked with my brother? Who fucked with my brother? Yo, the kid who was still there, fucking dude, sprinted out. These kids were running after multiple people with the chainsaws. And I swear to Christ, I knew the kid a little bit. He was like, Chris is cool. I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, the last thing I need is to be a fucking torso. I come up to my mom as a torso. But dude, once I saw that, and then there was a couple or I don't know how big of a deal it was, but like organized crime Italian mafia guys that were in the neighborhood. They all said they would have the Albanians would do the dirty work. It used to be like the famous group, the Westies, like the Irish Westies. Did all the mafia, Italian mafia dirty work in the 80s. Well, now back then it was said the Albanians were doing all the dirty work. They were like, because they were like just fucking lunatic criminals. Right. They have no place. Like I'm like, dude, are you Italian? Are you Greek? Are you Muslim? I don't know what you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're shitting all over yourself.
They're a nice worst of all worlds of those three. Everything bad about those cultures, Albanians are all of it.
Yeah, I knew I made a mistake once because that kid who, again, turned out to be friends, I said joking around it was whatever. We were teenagers. I was like, because their flag is like a red flag with like a black thing.
The double eagle.
Well, a double eagle. But I was just a kid. I was like, it looks like a shit stain. Thinking like you'd get a big laugh. And he was cranking his head. He was like, you don't know anything about my flag. I was like, oh shit. I was like, it was. But you guys are fucking nuts.
Yeah, Albanians are crazy in general, but like NYC Albanians especially.
Absolutely.
Like from what I know,
the Bronx
are a
Albanians
different breed.
Beautiful women though. A lot of times, like you'll see an Albanian girl, like. Yeah.
No, fuck. We
don't
can't
think so?
No, Elijah Dushku's Albanian, right?
Gorgeous.
She is.
Yeah. But at least some of the girls are not, because you didn't know, like, you could be an Albanian girl, but you look Puerto Rican. Like, for me, I'm into the Puerto Ricans. I can tell you how many girls I walked up to that were Puerto Rican, that I thought were Puerto Rican, they were fucking Albanian.
Like a light-skinned Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with some, I mean.
Any Albanians? You ever hook up with any Albanians?
Did I ever hook up with an Albanian? No, there was when I first started comedy, 2010, 2011, there was an Albanian makeup artist who she was like in her mid-40s. I was like 22, and like she was flirting with me and all, but I thought she was flirting with me, but she was really just putting makeup on me. I was like, but I was new in the business. She's touching my face, she's rubbing cream on it. I was like, this lady wants to fuck.
It is a sensual, when you don't know that's how it is, it does feel very sensual.
It does.
When someone puts makeup. Even like, as a guy, we don't need makeup, so it's like, she's not really doing anything. She's just kind of like, rubbing you down a little bit, putting a little shit on your lips.
I will tell you though, once when I was single, like 8-9 years ago, I was getting a haircut from a woman, and she asked, like, she did like a little like massage. I was like in a salon. I don't know why I did that. She was massaging my head,
treating yourself.
And dude, it felt so good for me. And then I think it transferred onto her. And she, after she had my phone number because I was like in the system. Right. She texted me and was like, "Do you want to hang out tonight? Get a drink?" And then she blew me that night. And it was it was like, because you're living out that fantasy thinking no way it's going to happen. And then it really happened
off the strength.
4 hours later, and no sex. Just like
blew you.
She told me, and this was so amazing. She told me, she's like, all I want to do is blow you. I want to. Wow. She's like, it was turning me on so much to see you. You
enjoyed yourself so much.
Yeah, she was like, I want to see that again.
And did you bust fast?
Oh yeah, dude. It was like. Gone. Yeah, dude, I was laying in the shower like Elvis. With cum and shit all over me.
She's like, "Why are you shitting?" You're like, "I can't stop. It feels too good."
Yeah. But that woman, that makeup artist, so I was texting with her, and then, me and my dad are very close. Like my dad treats me like an adult. Like like we just talk like guys at this point. And so I was telling him, I was like, "Oh, this woman, whatever," and he was like, "Oh, because my dad was one of those guys, like he was in and out of prison, knew some people back in the day." And I was telling him about like this woman, and the woman had said in and again, I was 22, 23. Yeah. The woman had said, "Oh, I have a husband, but like things are not going well, but I am like technically still married." And I was talking to my dad about it. My dad goes, what nationality is this woman? I said, "She's Albanian." He goes, "Delete her fucking number." He was like, the last thing you want to do is have to deal with some homicidal Albanian maniac. He goes, "Delete her fucking number, block her, whatever it takes." He goes, I swear to God, he goes, he always would say the same thing. He would be like, "What am I going to have to fucking smuggle you to Hershey, Pennsylvania?" He thought like this was the hiding place. He's like, "What am I going to have to hide you in Hershey, Pennsylvania?" I was like, "What, to have fun and eat chocolate?"
Well, that tells you how many like mob guys were hiding out in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Well, my mom told me when we were like, I was an infant, like 2 months old, somebody called the house, and I guess my dad had owed like a gambling debt, and somebody had called the house and was like, "Hey, if he doesn't give me the money, I'm gonna come over there, I'm gonna fuck you up," to my mom. And he's like, and I know about little Christopher. Wow. So, and then I was like, so my mom said, I said, "What did you do?" And it's like crazy, like why it always goes back to this. I said, "What did you do?" She goes, I got right on an Amtrak. I didn't tell your father, and I took you to Hershey, Pennsylvania. I was like, why do you keep taking me to Hershey?
You've been on the lam in Hershey as an infant.
Yeah. We're the hometown of Michelle Wolf.
Where fucking Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points.
That was in Hershey.
It was in Hershey. That's why there's no video of it. It was like some kind of semi-exhibition, like weird, like not playing in your regular arena thing. Right. Yeah.
That's one of those records, the 100 points. It's going to be tough to beat that in the NBA.
I don't know.
I mean, think somebody can get close?
The way people are shooting threes, like Dame just had 70-something. Donovan Mitchell had 7. We've had a couple 70-point games.
And Kobe did 80.
Kobe did 80, and he did it on bad shooting too, bad efficiency. Right. Dame had he had the most efficient 70-point game. At the end, he started chucking and he started getting tired. But I think we're going to get to a point.
You know what? That is a good point, because it's not out of the realm of possibility. Steph Curry can hit 23s in the first half. He could have 60 at halftime
without
if he's
question.
on fire.
Without question.
Yeah, that's true.
So especially if pace has been going up in the NBA and 3-point shooting has been going up, I think it's like going to start. Because these guys are also like, where we're really going to start seeing it is like in 5 years, where the kids that were babies when Steph was a rookie. Right. You know what I mean? Like these guys are still kind of they remember Kobe, they revere Jordan, but when that's out of the league, and that's out of people's like thought processes, like all the kids coming up now, they shoot threes, dude. And it's like when that keeps going more and the game gets crazier and crazier, I mean, I don't know.
Sports is a beautiful thing. Like your like prowess as an athlete can like change like generations. Like Giannis from the Bucks, nobody knows how to say his last name.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, Giannis from the Bucks has literally made like racist old men in Greece be proud to have him be a Greek.
Believe me,
it's like that's how good Giannis is.
Yeah, that's how you can tell. In fact, what the real service he's done is, someone doesn't like Giannis, then it's like, all right, well, he's a real racist. Yeah, that you can tell. It's like those are the guys we don't need to get in the mix at all.
This is internment camp racism level.
Yes. And those guys exist. They're out there.
Some of them are on my Patreon.
Yeah, because it's funny, because the history of Greece is, especially modern Greece, it's like realistically, you either descend from fascists or you descend from communists.
Right.
Like, there really is no middle ground.
Right.
So you got a little bit of that fascism, like, hey, it wouldn't have been the worst if we sided with the Nazis in World War II guy who's still around. And it's nice to get those guys to show themselves with their Giannis hate.
The history of Greece, I mean, that cradle of civilization type thing. I didn't know, though, that, like, I'm sure you know this as a Greek, like, they had democracy 2,000 years ago, and then they just abandoned it. They were like, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, democracy didn't work for a long time.
Well, it was such a specific, within Athens, within, like, a couple hundred citizen, like, the citizenship requirements were like, you're a guy, you have money, like, it wasn't true, but everyone who was a citizen got to vote. Like, there was no representative democracy.
Yeah.
It was like any fucking guy could just show up. You would go on a big hill and everybody would be like, I don't think that, fuck you, you know? But yeah, it's like the idea, what's fascinating about Greece is that the whole idea of, like, what we think of as a Greek identity stopped existing. Like, during the Greek Revolution, a lot of Greek people thought of themselves as Romans because we think of the Byzantine Empire, we call it the Byzantine Empire now. That's a historical thing.
Right.
They thought of it as the Roman Empire. They just thought it was the Roman Empire, and that had become so Greek. They took the Greek language, it became Greek Orthodox.
Yeah.
And so after the Roman Empire dissolved into whatever, Greeks still consider themselves Roman because Roman identity had become Greek identity. And that's the other thing. Italians can suck my dick.
Yeah.
They took our whole they took our whole shit, right? The Roman Empire took our whole shit, and then the whole, like, the like lasting legacy of the, like, education and everything like that, all that shit happened in Greek.
Yeah.
It's all Alexander the Great plus the Byzantine Empire. They were all fucking speaking Greek.
Yeah.
They all were Greek Orthodox, like that Orthodox Christianity. None of that fucking...
Dude, I remember one time a substitute teacher came into my high school, Archbishop Molloy, shout out, and he was, like, getting abused. Like, as soon as he walked in, getting abused, and he was substituting for history, whatever. And the lesson was about the Roman Empire. And he was going on for 20 minutes about how great the Roman Empire was, whatever. And again, knowing history, like, liking history back then, I was like, hey... whatever his name was. I was like, the Roman Empire sucks. I was like, and then the kid started, like, this kid Greggy started laughing. He was like, yeah. I was like, the only remnants left of the Roman Empire is Romania. That's the only country that's left that's what the Roman Empire is named after, Romania. I was like, fuck you. And then, dude, I remember he was like, detention. You have detention. And then it was so funny because he brought me to detention, like, like the way it was, like, you would get detention. And then because he was a substitute teacher and, like, whatever, the files were off, the principal was like, he's like, we'll take it from here. Like, you're a substitute. So, like, you got to go over here, whatever. And then the principal, Mr. L, he was like, what did you do? I was like, I just corrected him on Roman Empire, and Romania. Like, I did, like, a little joke. He's like, it's fine. Just go to practice. I was like, this guy he never came back. But that is true. Like, Romania is named after the Roman Empire. Like, that's like a big thing. And that's the vestige. That's the thing, dude. It might as well be Albania, which I love. Put your chainsaws away, you psychos. No, but it is amazing, too. Like, even, like, with history, like, I forgot if it was Socrates or Plato. I forgot. One of them said something and I was like, that makes sense. Because I've always thought this. This was thousands of years ago. They were like, not everybody should be voting. The fact that you give every citizen the opportunity to vote is ludicrous. Like, you should go to school and get a major in politics and voting. And then the people who are qualified to vote will make the decisions. Because they said the example used was interesting. He said, if you give everybody the opportunity to vote, all the citizens, what they'll do is they'll always vote in or eventually vote in a candy shop owner. And what he meant by that was, he said, if I put a doctor up, if I have a doctor and a candy shop owner, and I say, and the doctor is out there being like, candy will kill you, the people go like, fuck you.
We want candy.
Where the candy shop owner be like, I love candy, I love you.
Free candy for all.
Candy. You'll vote for that guy, but then you'll die. He said, that's what democracy is. I forgot which one said it, and I was like, that's pretty interesting. There's truths and false.
The problem is that, it's not democracy isn't good, but that kind of system would just, like, you would just have one system of thought represented, right? You'd have elitism, and you would just have rich people. The rich people probably be the ones who could go to school, afford to do all that shit. And it's the kind of thing where, you're absolutely correct that democracy is not perfect, but it's like what else? What are our other options? Right. And even in America, it's like we don't have a democracy. We don't have like there's really. The popular vote doesn't. Everything is divvied up in such fucked up ways where it's like by popular vote, the Republicans would lose. But everything is like gerrymandered in such a specific way, and the country is cut up in such specific ways that it's like it seems closer than it is, and it's like, people in cities are super underrepresented because it's like most people live there, and it's like, but you have this a senator from New York who has so many more constituents than fucking some cocksucker from North Dakota, right? But they have an equal say in the Senate, the more important governing body, and it's just like it's so fun. I mean, it's stupid.
I think when people shit on American politics, the American justice system, the American law, it's like, I get there's flaws, but like, where do you want to live? Fucking China? Do you want? Is that what you want? Do you want to be in Russia? Do you want to be in Ukraine? Like, where everything is as fine as it can be here. There's so many people. The thing is, I think with America, we have to have a country of 350 million plus people that are 3,000 miles wide. It's like, why would you do that? Yeah. Jesus said, the 13 colonies is America. That's what Jesus, our Lord and Savior, said.
That was
Whoever went west for this manifest destiny was an asshole, idiot thing to do. It's like Jesus was like, I made the 13 colonies literally perfect in every way.
Yep.
And so, and
one for each apostle and one for me.
Yeah, I think
that's how Jesus divvied it up.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, and so
the poor guy who got Rhode Island got the smallest, shittiest one.
It's so dumb. And then, but what's crazy too about like, it's great that you love history. Like, I was reading something the other day about Lewis and Clark. And Thomas Jefferson, said Lewis and Clark to go explore the West. And this was Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers, arguably one of the most intelligent men in American history, was the sitting U.S. president at this time. But it's not his fault. It just goes to show you that like we're all limited by the knowledge we have now. Like there's things that we're thinking now are correct that are so wrong that 200 years from now they'll look back like, remember when these fucking retards thought that? So Thomas Jefferson, sitting acting president, one of literally like the Elon Musk equivalent of of the day, literally told Lewis and Clark to bring extra like weapons and to bring he was suggesting they bring cannons. The army was like, I will give you cannons for the army just in case you're going west and you encounter a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He said that in an official because they weren't sure if you went west, if there were still active dinosaurs. They didn't know.
That's
so he was
awesome.
like, in case you go a T-Rex or a Brontosaurus or a raptor, you should have extra weapons. And then they brought that. Yeah, and they were like, "No, dude,
really?
it's just a
dinosaur guns."
No, they're like, "We found Sacagawea."
Yeah. We got ourselves a little brown pussy pie.
And I was like, and
thanks. We're gonna use these to rape the natives. There's no dinosaurs, but we gotta give me some fucking head.
Yeah. I put a cannon.
Put your feathers in my ass.
I was blowing cannonballs into this Native American lady's pussy. It was great. No, but
that's awesome.
And I always think about it. I don't know the answer yet, but I always think about like, what are we thinking now that is so fact that we're going to be no.
There's going to be something that's the equivalent of lead, because the Roman Empire used lead pipes for all their water, and they all had fucking lead poisoning and shit.
Right.
There's going to be some technology, probably phones.
Right.
It probably literally will be like phones and what it does to people's brains.
Yeah, everything Eldis is wearing right now. Headphones, computers. Yeah, that's why he's covered in his own shit all the time.
It's fucking up his bowels. There will definitely be something from all the shit that we're doing that we didn't understand that is fucking us up in certain ways. But I think
you're 100% right, and I think the same way that they didn't know or probably even care. I bet you there were people back then that were like, lead is probably not good, but there was no alternative. It's like, what are we going to do? Yeah. We're ingratiated into the technology, so it's like, just hope you have a good 80 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I am fascinated by, I would love to, I love the books that are like, what medieval life was actually like.
Right.
And what because we have these ideas of this shit, and it's like even the fact that we have these, the marble, and we all think about ancient Rome as like, oh, it was probably like all stately. And it's like, those were painted like hilariously garish colors. Like they every bust we've seen of like Caesar or whatever, he had fucking red hair. He was bright, like everything was painted.
Oh,
like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Every single Roman statue,
like they all look like the insane clown posse.
Yeah. Like their colors bright as fuck.
Yeah,
and like even like their tunics and shit. Like Caesar was known for wearing bright purple and shit like that, and he had like fucked up hair. Like they had different haircuts and like shit that we just think of these people existing almost in this like ancient vacuum. It's like they were just regular ass motherfuckers,
right?
Who were like doing, and it's like even in medieval times, it's like they loved fucked up colors. Like peasants would wear like green and yellow and shit like, and like church like everyone went to church. It was your only day off, but everyone was like, the priest was fucking chanting, but they were all getting fucked up and hanging out.
Yeah.
No one was like listening to what the fuck he was saying.
Yeah.
It was just like the communal place that you went. And they would have parties because it would be the Saints' Day, so you would get a day off. Everyone's like finger fucking each other and drinking mead and shit like that. It's like I am super fascinated by day-to-day life in antiquity.
And I watch those YouTube videos too. Is it Weird History is a good YouTube channel, has similar they show that because
I like Kings and Generals, but that's more of just like telling you about wars and ancient shit like that.
But even that, like you would think, like like the movies, like even like I'll take the Revolutionary War, like you would think like in these battles and all that, like thousands of men died. It's like no, dude, the British Army rolled in with like 300 guys. Like that's like that. Their population wasn't that big. There were 50 guys to defend New York. But they were awesome. And one of them was Alexander Hamilton.
That makes it cooler, actually.
Yeah,
it's almost gang warfare.
Yeah, it's like you had I saw something once that said in any war, even with the exception of some like really bloody battles, but overall, any war in history, you have an astronomically high chance of surviving. The movies make it like you're going to go to battle and death. It's like, no, the front line dies.
Of course.
Then everybody gets tired. All these battles that are depicted, like William Wallace and all that, like from real historians, were like, that took like 16 minutes because people were like dead from exhaustion. And they were like, you know what? Fuck it. I kind of like England. They were like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, you just beheaded somebody. Like, it's all glorified. But also, too, I think what's amazing is like how we are now, like whatever our jobs are now and our personalities are now. It was the same 2,000 years ago. It's just different things were available, different technologies, but it was this. You existed, I existed, you existed.
Fully.
There was a God. There was all of us were existing. So it's like history. You've heard the phrase a million times. History repeats itself. It's just true.
Yeah.
When you take even just a small journey into history, you're like, dude, everything was the same. People have had the same. Benjamin Franklin was yelling about vaccines.
Yeah.
Was yelling about being inoculated.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's the same thing.
Benjamin Franklin was over in France trying to get us in, trying to get warships and getting pussy on the side.
All day.
He was on a work trip.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got to get a little French pussy while I'm out here. He was doing the equivalent of swiping on Tinder instead of like focusing on his job.
Did you watch that biography on him?
I haven't yet.
It's
I
amazing.
love him though.
I love him too. And
I want to play him. I got the hair. I got the look for it.
You do. No, seriously.
I literally want to play Ben Franklin in something.
I think you honest truly be perfect.
I respect him so much as a like guy who just fucking he really lived his life so much about getting pussy.
That's all it was. Even in Revolutionary War, that's my favorite part of colonial America.
Okay.
And I, the Battle of Saratoga is like they call it the turning point of the Revolutionary War because that's when the French decided we're coming in. And so, but the reason why they did that is because Benjamin Franklin literally was over there on a pussy trip. He would take American taxpayer money, but it was all just a pussy trip. He was over there on a pussy trip, and he lied to the king and said that like we beat the shit out of the British, but it was all a fucking lie. And he got to the king's ear because he was banging one of the king's top one of his mistresses. So he was like, tell the fucking king to listen, you dumb bitch. Tell the king to
fucking tell you fucking whore. He goes grabbing her by the wig.
Because Britain is like England's like bloodthirsty to fucking France is bloodthirsty to fight the fucking British. They hate their British mortal enemies. So he was like that we won by a landslide, and then France sent their entire army, and it's all because Ben Franklin. And even
because he's Eskimo brothers with the king.
That's what
it was. If Ben Franklin didn't love pussy, America doesn't exist.
Yeah. Dude,
that's beautiful.
There's a good chance.
That's beautiful.
There's a good chance you're sitting right now in whatever American home you're listening to this in, and Benjamin Franklin fucked your great-great-grandma. He just fucked her in the ass, dude. But even that, I was watching this documentary, and it's like, they talk about what a great guy Benjamin Franklin is, what a great guy all these guys were. And then when you look at the history and the day-to-day life, dude, Benjamin Franklin went 6 years without seeing any of his kids because he just wanted to live in France and bang chicks. Yeah. Let his wife die. Wasn't at his kid's funeral.
No, totally.
Scumbag. But it wasn't scumbag back then. They just didn't think of it how we think of it.
No, I think it was. That's the other thing. It's like all our history and everything that we look at, it's all it worries about is the top line shit. Right? Like it's all about like what got done, who conquered what. No one thought about the human element of any of this.
Right.
So I think people were like, fuck Benjamin Franklin, and it's like he's a piece of shit.
Right.
But history didn't give a fuck about that.
No.
Like kings, like all the history we have of medieval stuff, all we know is like which king tried to, like England and France is so funny because most of their history is like they are fighting over 30 miles.
Yeah.
That they kill so many peasants.
Right.
So it's me. I'm the king that is into, I have that duchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just back and forth. It's so fucking hilarious. And we just think of it as like, it's like they look at it as almost like a football game, but think about all the, like when they're like, yeah, we had to like resupply our army. They mean they went to a village, raped every woman, took all their food. Those guys died through the winter. That's what resupplying your army was.
It was.
Like, and like Benjamin Franklin in that sense, it's like, yeah, everyone knew he was probably a piece of shit, but like the rich guys who wrote history didn't give a fuck about women and kids.
No.
They don't give a fuck. It's like, what did you do?
Yeah, well, even in the founding fathers' time, like, we talk about like the 1860s with slavery, and you'll get these arguments, well, the South, they didn't know back then, and the South needed it for cotton, whatever. It's like, no, when Britain, I read a book. You ever read 1776 by David McCullough?
I haven't read it.
It's a great book because what I'm fascinated with is books about that at least incorporate the point of view of America's enemy. It's not just American.
Of course.
It's what did the British think? And they have excerpts from British soldiers in that book saying, when they landed in our most religious, beautiful, Puritan city of Boston, when they landed, they said, we were appalled by the smell of the city, and we were appalled that they had slaves in the streets. They're like, these people are enslaving African Americans against their will. Like, they were like, these people need to die. And we were like, and that was 100 years before we got rid of slavery. So it's like, even back then, the British, who was the fucking, were like known to be like the biggest dicks of all time, were like, the fact that you're fucking have slaves is like a little much.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Be real about this. You go to there, you don't bring them back from Africa. You stay there, brutalize them there, and bring back all their goods.
That's how you hide it.
Yeah. You go to India, you do whatever you want for a few months. You come back with all their spices, and you leave your half Indian bastard children there. Like,
dude, I read something funny, too, about the Hessians. Like that was the Germans back then, the Hessians. Like,
big mercenaries,
right? But they were Germans. And so another British soldier wrote, because the thing is like, there is DNA, there is like a personality and nationality. Like, you can, not all the time, but like, I can tell you, like, most Germans are going to be like this. Most Americans are going to be like this. Not all, but like, there's something in nationality, because even back then, when they weren't even Germany yet, they were the Hessians, but they were in that part of the world. They hired them. Everybody was terrified of the Hessians because they were like bloodthirsty lunatics. So they hired them, the British, to like instill fear. And they said they got off that boat I think it was the Battle of Brooklyn. They got off that boat, and the British soldiers said they came in and fucking ran into the front lines of the colonial soldiers, American colonial soldiers, like fucking lunatics, started beheading them, cutting their arms off. They said one guy was cutting a guy's face off, and he put it on his own face and was like, "Happy Halloween," like things like that. And they were like, "These people are crazy. They're bloodthirsty. They need to be stopped." And then 200 years later, they're the Nazis. So it's like, that's just like what it is. You know?
Well, it is really funny because we have some connection to the 1800s. Like, it doesn't feel that ancient, right?
Right.
But in the 1800s, they had some connections to like Vikings.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't that far in there, like, especially because history was kind of short. The idea of history was like a little shorter back then, where it's like you had an idea of like they were still talking about the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it today, but they're talking about it. They're still like organizing societies around like the vestiges of Roman law and shit like that. So that those Hessians in the 1700s, they're not that far away from like Vikings. Dude.
No,
they're like they remember them. It's a couple,
That's true, and also what's true is like we think right at every moment in history you are in the most advanced part of human history. It's just day by day. It's what it is. You don't really go backwards. We're always kind of moving forward. When I was a physical therapist, I was a physical therapist at the VA hospital, the Veterans Hospital, and it was funny because like I got to sit and like do physical therapy with guys from different generations. Like the World War II vets thought like, the Vietnam vets were pussies because they used like chemicals, or like they were like, I killed Nazis with my bare hands, or like they thought like the Iraq vets were like pussies, like, oh, you guys had planes, things like that. So, but one of the World War II vets, I was fucking fascinating. We were like, I was doing some therapy with him, and he was talking about just like what life was like, because I was 23 at the time, and he's like, when I was 23, I was just going off to war, and I was like, yeah, my life's a little different. I'm trying to do a stand-up comedy tonight at the Maui Taco, and so I'm trying to pay $5.
I think I did an open mic. I think I did that open mic when
we all did
visited New York.
Yeah,
probably this was probably like 2000, dude.
10, 11?
Yeah.
That's where I started.
You might have been there,
I might have been there, dude. It was me, you, Sam Morrill, Mark Norman. We all fucking were down there.
Holy shit, that's so funny.
So, what he said to me was, and it's always stuck with me, where he was like, if he went off, America entered the war in like, late 1940, early 1941. He went to war in 1942 is when he got drafted. But he was like, if you would have told me in 1939 that in a couple of years that we were going to have killed, like there was a group of people that would have gassed and killed like 6 million fellow human beings, I would say, no way, that stuff happens. The reason I thought of it, because that stuff happens in the Vikings times. That doesn't happen in our time. He goes, and then it happened a few years later. He said, so never think that you're too far away from being that. Yeah. You can always be that.
I mean, we're sort of that already. Already. There's places we just don't pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, they're in China, they're literally doing, in that one province with the Muslims, they're literally like shaving their heads. Yeah, I don't trust everything the media says, but it's like, it's probable that's happening.
It does feel like there is a part of the media that wants to ratchet up tensions between us and China, so they're going to make them look like monsters.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at what's happening in fucking Palestine. It's just like there's just parts of Africa that are just getting fucked up. Yemen, no one gives a fuck about the atrocities that are still happening. They're happening.
Yeah.
They're fucking happening.
Oh yeah, I think in that one tribe in one terrorist group in Africa, I'm blanking on their name.
Boko Haram.
They're like mutilating children in front of, and they're like, the news doesn't give a fuck. They're like talking to me about Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but
so like, we get it. He's cool. He gets pussy and he does crack.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know. Like it was one of those things. Like literally, Hunter Biden like almost made me vote for Joe. I was that close. So I was like, I fucking love Hunter, but I couldn't do it.
That was a tough one, dude.
Well, dude, the thing is, I voted on Staten Island, so even if I voted Democrat, it was getting changed illegally to Republican. There's no way that was ever. So I took the guesswork out for them. I knew you guys were going to do it anyway. So.
I mean, I regret voting for Joe. I should have just not voted for anyone.
Yeah, no, I think
I'm a Bernie
cool
boy, of course. Yeah.
I mean, I think like we have an opportunity to do it. Like I Bert Kreischer on, and it was interesting to talk to Bert, because Bert, we all sit as comics and I think all say the same thing. How does Bert have the energy and time to do what he does? He's drinking every night. He's partying. He's waking up at 6 a.m. working out.
He has there is a genetic thing to that guy.
There is.
For sure.
Definitely some Viking blood, for sure.
Something fucked up.
But I think when I actually asked him point blank, he was like, I know it's, like, you've heard this, it's maybe cliche. He's like, but I genuinely get high off life. Like, when I wake up,
he's one of the happiest dudes.
He's like, I am the guy that like am so thankful to have another day. I'm so thankful. He's like, I don't want to go to the gym this morning. Went to the gym at 6 a.m. He's like, I didn't want to do one push-up. Like, I was still hungover. I suck. He's like, but I was like, you know what? The fact that my arms and body can move like this, because you have people that can. He's like, I went as deep as I could with the push-up, and really, he said, the burn of the workout makes me feel alive and actually makes me feel euphoric and happy, because I'm like, I know there'll be a time in my life when I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I was I wish I could look at life that way, but I just am depressed.
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, fuck, I'm awake.
Yeah.
There was
dude, I lost 40 pounds. I can do like 15 pull-ups now. I'm like, but I still.
Shit, you got the coat on. I don't even get to see the fucking bod, dude. You're not even flexing. Yeah, pull it. Pull your cock out, dude. Your nut skin looks awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It looks rejuvenated. No, I feel you, dude. It's so funny to just be like, oh yeah, because my brother is a trainer, and he's a similar guy where it's like good shape, but just happy, right? Like doesn't look at I wish I could look at every day and like, how good is that, by the way?
Dude,
I'm trying to get sponsored by A&W, dude.
Oh my god, dude! I mean, literally, what looks more A&W than this guy?
I love it, dude. We're gonna start selling ads soon. I'm gonna do, like a college with like when they have signing day and the kid puts the baseball cap. I'm gonna do that for dick pill companies. I'm like, who's it gonna be? I take the Blue Chew hat. Is it Roman? Let us know, folks. Come in big. There's no bigger dick pill free agent on the market than me, pal.
Yeah,
okay?
He is the guy. But I, and obviously it all comes from within. But from the outside, you look like a guy who actually is very happy.
I'm pretty happy. I'm don't get me wrong. I'm happy in terms of like I've taken pains to kind of organize my life where it's like, me and Elders have been friends since we were kids. Like basically, and then I've hired a couple. Literally the people I lived in this apartment with when I moved to New York. Eldest is like day to day we work together. He produces the pod. He comes on the road with me. He's my best friend. We get to work together. Our other friend, she was like an executive assistant at like some fashion company. She had a kid. She's like, I don't want him to live in New York anymore. So she does that kind of shit for me from Baltimore. And it's just like, and then my friend Ben O'Brien, who's so smart, so good at all. She's going to direct my next special. And work with him too. So it's like I've kind of organized my life where I get to work with my best friends. My studio's in my fucking apartment. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm just have everything that I want.
You don't care if you're ever in the movies or famous in all over the world.
And not in fact.
If that happens, it happens, but you're not going for it.
I want to be in movies for like they don't need to be big. Like I'm doing a little indie movie. Right. I want to do it because I love comedy and I want to like try being funny in every medium, but I don't need to be that. I actually don't want to be that famous. Like this level of fame, I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks dick. Yeah. Like I see why people, like famous people go fucking crazy. Right. Yeah. Because somebody's always sucking your dick. So, people are telling you how good you're, like, and you can't even like walk outside. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that's a problem yet. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm that famous, but just this little piece of internet fame that I've like. I just want to be as funny to do what I want creatively. Yeah. I want to make and write a movie just because it's a creative thing. But I would prefer to stay like right here or lower. And as long as I can pay for my pay for all my shit and like have a life of creativity, that's great. But I struggle with other shit. It's like, I got to get healthy, all that kind of shit. So I'm trying. The next step is like, I feel like my career has been good. Yeah. And now I have to put it in a place where it's like, I have time to work out. I have ways to keep my diet correct. I can, get a fucking relationship. You're 34. You don't want to I don't want to be the guy who's like 50 still trying to get pussy. Right. You know what I mean? Like that guy sucks.
No, you want to just have a kid by then. That'd be awesome if you're like that guy, but you're divorced and have a kid. Yeah. And then it's cool. If you don't have, if you've never had a wife or a kid,
you preparing for something, pal?
Yo, she's over 18, baby. Yeah, I know she's in my daughter's class. She's over 18. She got left back.
Hey, look, an Italian-Puerto Rican union, that's not making it to the end. No, that's not too volatile.
It's not making it to the end of this year. No, but you know what? You know what's crazy? You say that because I don't. We think about it, but it's sometimes hard to put into playing. Because I'm similar, right? Got my fans, moving things along, whatever, and. I sold out Radio City, which for a New Yorker, that's insane, like our dream, right? Insane. We added a show at the theater at MSG, September 23rd, Love which that. My dad said absolutely don't do, and he was right. He's like, you're just going to put pressure on you. Like, he was like, you had a win. It took you 9 days to get the biggest career win of your life. Right. And the show is 6 months away, and you could have just celebrated that win. But instead, you added now more pressure. Yeah. You just took the pressure away.
How much bigger is MSG than Radio City?
It's Radio City's 5,800 seats. Theater at MSG is 5,600.
Oh, so not bad.
So it's I got time.
I know what you mean, but yes,
it'll be fine. It's selling. That's on the path to sell out as well. There's still some tickets available, but he was right to be like, why are you adding? Because he was like, I think it is you. He said something to me, and then I'll tell you what my aunt said, which was wild. He goes, I think because you have such a high pressure career with comedy that you just think you have to live in the pressure. He was like. God gave you 9 days to live in pressure and then gave you 6 months free of that pressure. And you said, fuck you, God.
Let's double down.
Let's double down. He said, now I understand you have a goal to get to Madison Square Garden in the actual arena. And I get that this,
if you do both, you're there, basically.
You're close. Yes. Yeah. And so he's like, so I get that. He goes, but you sometimes you do these things where like you think you have to get everything now when you don't. You have like, God willing, a long life. Like things happen. Even, when I spoke to Bert, he said he didn't start selling any real tickets till he was 42, 43 years old.
Wow.
So he was like, you think that you have to get everything now and you don't. And I was like, that's true. And then my aunt, when I sold out, Radio City, she was like, oh, like she, everybody's saying congrats, my family. And then she just gave me, she's a very wise woman. She just gave me a kiss on my forehead. She goes, what a burden it all must be. I swear to God. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, it's got to be a burden to have this pressure now from your family. She goes, I'm sure. She goes, do you get recognized on the street now? I was like, like every day. And she was like, it's got to be a burden. She goes, especially you. She was like, I mean, something you said in 2009 can come back and ruin your life today.
MTV's Guy Code
could
bring it all down.
Well, and I never even thought about this. She was like, like your friends that you hang out with that are just like regular guys. She was like, they're like anonymous. They can do and say whatever they want. Nobody would care about them. She's like, you can make a joke about Russia and then go to Russia and be put in prison for it. And I was like, I guess.
I was kind of looking for a congrats on Radio City, Chris.
I thought you were going to ask me for tickets. And then, but there is truth in what she said when what a burden it must be, because she said, she was like, it's awesome that you're doing this. You live in your dream. Beautiful. She's like, but don't, she goes, remember, she always said this, there's no end to up. So just don't. You
have to put the end yourself.
Don't keep, like, she was like, what, think of the number in your head financially. That is your number. If you hit that, if you've already hit that, congratulations. If you haven't hit that, get to that number.
For me, it was $40,000 a year. I literally was in Baltimore dreaming about making $40,000 a year and living in Greektown. So it's like, it's hard when you grow up poor and you're like, your dreams are so attainable. It's like I've blown past it. It was like literally $40,000 a year. And headline Magooby's Joke House. And it's like, now I'm like, well, what? Do I have other goals? Like, and be in a movie just the way like a poor person's like, that means you're famous. Just be in one movie for a scene. And like all that stuff has happened.
Well, because you'll always push the goalpost back. And the thing is, I think the hardest thing is the thing. Sometimes the thing that gets you there is the thing that can like also the thing that makes your life can ruin your life. So you're like, you have to be like, that's why I think like people who got to a certain level of where they wanted to be and quit and then just stop doing it, they get flack. Like, Barry Sanders quit at the top of his career. Like
Andrew Luck, I respect so much. Just because he's, he was awesome. And he was like, I can't do this. I want to not have my head fucked up. I don't want and I want, my kids are like growing up. I want to spend time with my daughters while they're like children. And so I get that fully.
It's interesting, but it's tough when you're like, like you want to like get all these goals, but like, if you keep pushing the goalpost back, then it's like you never really even like enjoy your success. And that's what my dad was saying with this. Like, and he was right, because what happened was Radio City sold out. Great. We put theater on MSG on sale literally 24 hours later. Those tickets are selling, but not like the fucking trajectory of Radio City, because nothing would be that. And right away, my managers and the group text be like, what do we got to do to get these tickets up? Chris, make a promo with it. And then thank God somebody else from my management company just spoke up and was like, we need to celebrate this win for Chris and forget about this.
And in a couple months, you'll do another push. It's fine. It's 6 months away.
But the thing is, like, if we're not careful and if we're not present, well, that's people are always going to push you to do shit that you may not want to do. Always.
Fully. And it has to be you. Because it's like, especially in entertainment, it's like, these motherfuckers want you to make more money so they can make more money.
That's what it is.
It's not about what you want.
None of them will ever admit that, but that's all what it is. But that's why, I brought it up to talk about family. That's why for me, having, a girl and my daughters is like life-saving, because it's like that makes me then say no to a lot of things that I would have said yes to, because I'm like, wait a second, I don't want to be gone for 2 months, even if I'm going to make X, Y, and Z money, because the cost of that is going to be missing so many things in my family's life. I can't do that.
Of course.
So that kind of helps me stay in my lane as much as I can. But yeah, so I think, dude, I would fucking try to don't pull out tonight.
No,
dude. You're gonna have your wife's gonna be from Baltimore, right? Like she's
either Baltimore, or like a village. I'm gonna go get one from a village in Greece, straight from the tap.
But no way. There's no doubt in my mind that one day, out of the blue, I'm going to get a fucking e-invite from fucking Eldon shit bathtub that's inviting me to Stavvy's wedding to his Greek bride in the parking lot of Camden Yards. That's where it's going to be.
It's so funny, dude, because the older I get, the more I'm like, I do feel like, damn, I want to marry a Greek woman. Or like, I don't think I've even dated, I don't think I've fucked a Greek, like I just, for whatever reason, but there is something to where I'm in Greece and there's like a primal part of me that's like, oh yeah, like I should, like a weird, I'm like extra, and I am attracted to those features, like I'm attracted to like curly hair, fucked up nose, bit of a tan.
Yes.
So that's, you can get into a lot of different, like in your special, you talk about how your girl looks like she could be like Italian or like, like that. So
Muslim.
It's like, like, so that, exactly. Like Middle Eastern, even like Hispanic girls that have like, so I hit that look a lot. Like I've dated plenty of girls that look like that, but never like actually culturally Greek, but who knows? I mean, I'm lucky that I don't have shit going on. I mean, my career is so outpaced my personal life where it's I have no personal life. You know what I mean? It's
have you hooked up? You don't have to name names. Have you hooked up or got like a DM from like a smoking hot famous chick yet to be like, I love you? Has any of that happened yet? Or like a smoking hot girl?
Yeah, I've fucked a hilarious amount of like much hotter women than me, of course.
It's strictly because they're like, I love you from your comedy.
Oh yeah.
Well, sure. My girls, hot, smoking hot, our friends are all, when one girl is hot, all their friends are hot. That's what it is. Of course. It's how it works.
And one real fucked up one. It's 5 of the hottest women you've ever seen in your life and like eldest with a wig on.
Yeah. It's like, But all, one of my girl's friends who's, knows comedy a little bit from, through me, she was like, she fucking loves you. Because she's like, he's just so confident, he's so funny. She's like, I love that fucking look. I'm like, dude, because especially with Greek women, it starts to get to the point when like the older a Greek girl gets that isn't married, it's like, it starts out like he's got to be hot, he's got to be a doctor, he's got to be tan, he's got to be jacked. And then it's like, a little bit, it's like, okay, they take one thing away. And then it gets to a point where you can have a smoking hot 35-year-old Greek woman that's like, my only requirement is he's Greek. That's it. I don't care if he can be Stephen Hawking. As long as he's fucking Greek, I will marry him. So it's like, you can get a fucking smoking one.
I mean, as a man, you're just lucky because it's like, this is acceptable to look like this.
No,
like imagine
the
female.
It's attractive.
Imagine the female equivalent of looking like this.
Oh my god!
Do you understand how much no one would respect a woman that looks like the exact analog of me, like fucked up hair, fat as shit. You know what I mean? Like just never combing your hair either. Like, so that's very lucky. And also, I do think there is something to the like. Yeah, a big fat piece of shit that believes in himself. It's like it's like, what am I missing? There must be more to it. Well, you know what I mean?
The thing is, you're like, I know, like, happiness comes from within. So it's like, but like, again, from the outside, it's like, you don't even, like, you just wear it well too. Like, if I saw you, the first thing I would now think of, like, oh, he's fat. I'd be like, this guy just fucking rules. That's what I would say.
Well, that's another thing of like, you're allowed to wear tracksuits everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, if a regular, a skinny man is wearing a sweatsuit, you're like, to dinner or to a party, you'd be like, that guy's fucking weird. Yeah. I show up in a sick tracksuit. It's like, that guy looks awesome.
Well, dude, and like if we went to a pool party, like I'd be more embarrassed about taking my shirt off than you would, because it's like,
I'd be in a Speedo.
You take it right off and be beautiful, where I would take my shirt off and be like, I have that body where it's I know this guy's going to be jacked. And then you look at me and you're like, he's really not.
It's so funny. Yeah, your body dysmorphia is hilarious.
He's got like fat shoulders and you're just like, all right. And then because what I do, my move is I get in the pool and then I fucking dunk. I'm just ahead.
Neck up.
Right away. I dunk in and I never come up.
I love it.
Dude, my head, the top of my head and face is always so sunburned. The first months of this.
Because you're hiding those titties.
Yeah.
Fuck. We got to answer some questions. You got to do it. Because I would love to. You got to come back because there's so much I want to talk. I mean, we haven't even talked about your dad, which is he's one of the most fascinating people. I would love to just really dive into our boy Tony.
Yeah.
I would just your whole upbringing's hilarious, but we got to pick up your half Puerto Rican daughter. Dude, so let's.
I'm picking her up from ICE.
she's been fucking. She got pinched at a Home Depot parking lot. Hit us with a hit. Let's answer some questions, folks. From we've got a father. We've got a fucking we've got a fake Italian, mostly German.
Mostly German, so
baby.
We're sneaky.
Yeah.
Stav, do we want to do a pre-advice plug for Chris?
Yeah, let's do some plugs. Let's do some plugs. Where can people find you? Where should they listen? Chrissy Chaos.
Hey Babe Podcast. ChrisDComedy.com for all my dates. Australia is on sale now. We'll be in Sydney. We're going to be adding Perth and Melbourne, but get the tickets for Sydney. New York City, baby. Radio City Music Hall sold out September 22nd, so we added September 23rd to theater at MSG. Austin's on sale, San Antonio. Most of my shit is sold out, so I appreciate it.
Don't go to Chris. I think we're going to announce New York soon, that same date. So fuck Chris, actually.
Yes.
Buy tickets to see me
But
instead.
September 22nd or the 23rd.
I don't remember.
If it's the 22nd, yeah, who gives a fuck?
Come to the Beacon.
But if it's the 23rd, I would just appreciate if you came and saw
Chris. He's too big for his britches.
Yeah.
Radio City isn't good enough for him. Me, I'm at the humble Beacon Theater. Reward me for my humility. This guy thinks he's fucking Billy Joel over here. He's gonna do Radio City and MSG back to back. Let's play some fucking calls, LD. He never gets her.
Stavvy.
Yes.
You round, beautiful bad dude. What's up, man? It's Josh from Phoenix. I have a question, dog. So my wife and I, we had our first child a year ago. Beautiful baby girl.
Nice.
And it's hard as a motherfucker, dude. To be a good parent, hot damn, it's fucking hard. But anyway, my wife and I, we really don't want to have another kid. We're terrified of having another kid.
Oh, man.
So basically, we're kind of at like a stalemate, I'd say. Condoms fucking suck, especially if you're married. Like, what the fuck is that? But we don't want to have another kid. So I don't want to get my balls snipped.
Why not?
And birth control makes her sick as fuck. So we're kind of at a stalemate. So we've just resulted into banging less, which really makes me sad. I don't know, man. Any advice for this situation? I really don't know. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I should snip this sack. I don't really want to. I think it's against the Lord. Who knows? Anyway, man, saw you in Phoenix a few months back. It's fantastic. Keep up the good work. Peace.
What the fuck? What's the problem with snipping your balls? You don't want another kid.
I got this.
And you want a raw dog. Go ahead,
dude.
Chris.
The solution, it's so fucking simple, dude. What the solution is you have sex, and then if you fucking get her pregnant, you drive to California and you kill it. I don't think you can in Arizona, right? It's a Republican state.
Who knows? Yeah,
but
probably.
dude, it's like, that's why.
Go to Palm Springs for the weekend.
This is why Nancy Pelosi fights for your rights. Get an abortion. No, I honestly, I am in a very similar situation. We had the second kid
by accident.
And it's beautiful.
Which the first one was an accident as well, correct?
That's all it is, baby.
That's a great bit. How she's fighting through the
Plan B.
The Plan B.
I was dropping them down there, dude. She's fucking came out. She's like a demogorgon from fucking Stranger Things. And so
it is so funny because your kid, like, I don't know her personally, obviously, but everything you post is like, she really is like a fucking feisty, like, almost borderline mean baby.
Yes.
And it's like, this bitch survived chemicals. Like, everything was against her existing. It's funny that even as a sperm, she was resilient. And it matches her personality. It's wild.
And she's got an attitude, and like, her mom, like, it's fucking, dude, her mom is like, it's like Hitler level energy. It's like she's a Puerto Rican Hitler. She's Hitler in booty shorts. So she we're going through this similarly where she was going to get her tubes tied, I was going to get snipped, and then we both kind of felt like what I think needs to happen is hopefully what happens to me hopefully happens to you is what will happen is we didn't want to have kids but still want to have sex, we're both horny, whatever, and we had sex. And she had a pregnancy scare, but like we really believed it. Like we really fucking believed it, that it was going to happen. And then it didn't happen. And then what happened though is that living with that energy and that fear of it happening literally made us both be like, okay, and now she's going to get she wants to get her tube side because she's like, I'm obviously the one, if she gets pregnant, like she's the one that would have to go through an abortion. She's the one that would have to, or 9 months of pregnancy. It's really much tougher on the woman. There's the one that whole body's changed. So I think that's what needs to happen. And I think it's worth the risk to either have that happen, or if you have the second baby, 2 kids is a lot, but it's not like insane. And then you'll deal with the second kid and fucking be mad. And
no, he doesn't want to have a second
but
kid.
I'm just saying that I think either one, because what you're doing now,
all over. He's not going to Perth and adding shows. This fucking guy works at GameStop. He can't get a second kid, man. So don't forget about it. His second kid is your fourth kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he's what he's saying, having less sex and all that. Like that you're gonna wind up being a fucking single dad.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't see the problem. Why don't you want to get your nuts snipped? I don't get it. If you don't want another kid, this is your wife that you want to be with. Like, it feels...
It's also reversible, a vasectomy.
It's reversible. I don't see the big... Yeah.
He's bringing the Lord into it. It's like, dude, you're from Phoenix. Yeah. What the fuck? What does Christ have to do with your city?
So, I agree. Condoms after you're married.
It's almost like you're not having sex.
It's crazy.
Yeah, if you have sex with a girl with a condom, you didn't have sex with her. You had sex with a condom inside of her.
It's a problem. I know. Unfortunately, I've been trying not to raw dog, and it really does. It's really a bullshit thing.
I will tell you, though, dude, being now, like, you know, not having any unprotected sex other than with my girl, it is such a freeing feeling to know I don't have an STD. No matter what, I could wake up with blisters on the head of my dick, and I would be like, somehow my dick got chicken pox. Like, it cannot possibly be an STD. And then if it was because my girl cheated on me, I'd be like, well, great, now I can now it's a happy divorce.
I've got the upper hand. Yeah, you're in a position where gonorrhea would be a blessing any way you slice it.
And it's a beautiful place to be in.
So buddy, I would say she doesn't want to go on birth control. Probably doesn't want to get her tubes tied. It's more of a tubes tied is more of a procedure than the vasectomy. So get a fucking vasectomy. I don't see the issue. This vasectomy seems like the clear answer. What is your issue to a vasectomy? I don't understand. If you're with someone who you want to be with, and it sounds like you do, and you guys want to have this kid together, it's like, fuck it. You're good to go. And if you really... You probably could store some nut in a fucking freezer somewhere if you're really scared. And it's
I love
reversible.
that this guy's going to go home to his wife tonight.
Stavvy
like,
weighed in.
I need the vasectomy. She was like, "Where did you hear that? What changed your mind?" He goes, "Stavvy's world."
Well, we have a medical professional on
That's
the fucking,
baby. I agree with Stavvy. It is so reversible. The tubes tying on the woman, that's the rough one.
Why don't you want to? Would you have gotten snipped?
There's a part of me, that I might want to have a kid at 50. Sure. And there's also a second
marriage type of situation.
100%.
You really are planning for you're positioning yourself for the second marriage.
As my father told me I should. As he did. And so, but I think also too, there is and this is just dumb ego male bravado bullshit, but it's like, if you snip me, I feel like you take away my prowess, and then you take away my confidence, which is stupid.
See, to me,
I think I'll look like Ari if you fucking snip me.
But that's the thing, a snip to me, everything you just said about the freedom of an STD, a snip to me gives you the freedom to bust inside.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've had a couple bust insides where the moment it's done, I'm like, what have I done? Did I really need to treat myself to that? Now I'm going to be worried the next 3 months? Or really 9 months? I won't fully be stress-free for 10 months from now.
Well, I think it was Giannis or Joe DeRosa. Somebody had a good line where they were like, you know, if you have unprotected sex, if you do the time, you do the crime. Like, you commit a crime, like a misdemeanor, it's like, you know, your sentence will be like, 2 to 23 days. Or if you commit a murder, it's like, 25 years to life type things. Like, that's what it is with having unprotected sex. You do the time, you do the crime, you do the time. You're going to have to wait anywhere from 3 to 25 days to be clear of pregnancies, STDs, any time. If you can make it 25 days, you're clear, but you're going to suffer.
You're going to suffer
mental prison for those 3 weeks.
So that's anyway. So we've weighed in, and good luck to you, pal. We believe in you,
baby.
And congratulations on the kid. Even though it sounds like you're pretty, it's rough on you.
Yeah. Phoenix is also just too hot.
What's up?
Horrible place.
All right,
can't stand Phoenix.
Me either.
There's hot girls there, though.
I am Josh.
Hi, Josh.
I am newly married 2 years. Been in this relationship about 6 years. My issue is my wife has an ex who she had 3 children with. The problem is that this ex somehow, right after they got divorced, became best friends with her mom, my mother-in-law. Now they're super close. We ended up, roundabout figuring out that they're kind of a thing a little bit.
What?
I haven't caught anything
super serious, but read some text messages telling each other they love each other and all this stuff. They go on hikes together. They hang out all the time. They're like best friends now. They never were before.
No way.
The mom is married. They're super close. We all know what's happening. We even called the guy out for it, and he's just like, I know it needs to stop. Like we said, we saw the text messages. It's not fair to anyone.
What
He's
the
like,
fuck?
yeah, I know. We need to stop this right now. So whatever. They're still like best friends. Like the kids had a sports Christmas party. They drove together, hung out there together, and that. They're always going out to eat together, like with the kids and stuff. It's like they're trying to make their own little family. Obviously, it gets under my skin. I'm pissed off. My wife is like always crying about it when new things happen. It's really heartbreaking for her. And it just obviously pisses me off. I don't know what to do. So just looking for some clarification on what you might think would be a good idea to do. Thanks.
Okay.
Dude, I thought that one was going to end with a gunshot blast.
This is fucking wild. So your ex she has 3 kids with this guy, and he starts fucking her mom after so this guy's married to a woman.
Wait, yeah, because I got lost. What is
here's
the scenario?
what's going on.
What
Scenarios. So let's put it in your terms.
Okay.
You and Jasmine, right?
Right.
So did she have a kid from another?
Yes, she has a kid from,
okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So her former baby daddy
now
starts dating Jasmine's mom. and now that guy and his kid and the grandma are all going out having a great time, like just you know, becoming a little family. He's dating her. He's always, not only is he too much a part of your life, but now he's fucking your mother-in-law. He's he's around.
Yeah.
He's fucking up her relationship. He's fucking up your relationship with Jasmine. He's just like, and that's basically the situation. And it's like fucking everything up. It's like, imagine that guy not only being more around than you'd like, but he's fucking your mother-in-law.
Dude, that is, I mean, first of all, it's a porn category. That's a porn.
That also says something about that pussy was passed down through the generations.
Well, I was gonna talk about the silver lining here. Here's what I am assuming without even seeing anyone is this guy, the guy who's called in, is pretty lucky because what you know for sure now is that the woman that you're with is going to continue to stay hot as she gets older because the mom is obviously hot if
either
your
hot or good
ex-husband is banging her. So it's like it's fucking
It's kind of like you can't afford. You know, you really wanted a new Porsche, but you're like, let's see what they got on eBay. Right. And you got the 82. You know what I mean? You get like a used car version of it. It's like he couldn't afford his hot new wife. So now he's like, well, I guess I could fuck your mom.
Dude, honestly, I get where it's uncomfortable, but it doesn't, dude, what would be worse is if your current wife, who has kids with other, you know, who she had kids with this previous guy, if you saw text message between them,
of course that would be worse.
Then it's like you're having an affair, and then it's like that's not good. But this, it's like, I don't know. On one hand, I understand. On the other hand, it's like, dude, it's none of your business. I mean, let her fuck your wife's mom.
I don't know, dude, because a guy like this being around, I don't like. Yeah. Just his vibe, because it's almost like
fuck your wife again.
That's what I mean. There's no way he's not gonna fuck your wife. He's gonna catch her. Like, she's having these strong emotions about this guy constantly. She hates him. There's a primal porn thing here where even if she instantly regrets it, he's fucking her one more time. Yeah. If he's around just forever, he's using this as a way to stay in the. This is like almost like Game of Thrones thing, where he's kind of sticking around. Yeah. He's like, oh, I want nothing. I don't want the throne. Yeah. I don't want your girl's pussy. I'm happy with her mom. Yeah. And in a weird way, he's like, you know. He's keeping himself busy fucking the mom, but he's lurking. Dude. And they're his kids. Yeah. And he's always around.
And I wonder, do they have kids? Does this guy have kids with this current woman?
It doesn't sound like it. So
that's tough to begin with.
Absolutely.
When somebody else... Dude, you got to understand, like,
that's
I dealt with it for a little while. I think that is one of the main reasons why we had the first, pregnancy, accidents. Because when I met Jasmine, I was so in love with her, so infatuated with her, in love and beautiful. And I was like, this is the one of my dreams. And then she was like, oh, I have a kid. And I was like, is that guy dead? Like, hopefully that guy's dead. And she was like, no, like, he's a great dad. I see him once, he sees his kid once a week. I was like, well, I have to not pull out tonight because I have to fucking even the playing field because I can't be in love with this woman and then just feel so inadequate.
Of course.
And so I was like, I gotta also have a kid with you. And then because it does feel like it's rough, like when you are dating someone and they have a kid and you don't have a kid, because the ultimate bond and connection, as you said, with two people is a kid. It's not marriage. Marriage is a piece of paper. It's procreating. Yeah. So it's like there's already feelings of inadequacy, and now, like you said, fucking her mom lurking. What I do want to know,
taking him out for the grandma and your dad,
right,
are taking you out for Sundays.
Yeah,
and it's like it feels like that's your family. And that's another. It's literally your family, but it's like that cuts out your stepdad, and also, what's this going to do to their fucking kids? That's another. We haven't even thought about that.
It's weird.
Imagine, like, they're probably little now, but like, imagine you're like 10, 11. You're like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
These kids are going to be more fucked up than my kids who have a transgender nanny.
Yeah, they're learning. Your kids are learning lessons. You know what I mean?
My kid, yeah. So, but
the trans nannies probably tell them how to do their makeup really good.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
A trans nanny knows how to do a nice red lip.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
dude, fucking, and you know what? The another good thing is probably, I guarantee you, and this guy, I think he'd be lying if he didn't agree with this. He definitely fucks his wife and thinks about it being the mom, and fucking
it's at least in his head a little bit now.
It's gotta be awesome
because he's like, how good is the mom pussy?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Now he starts.
That's
thinking,
in the back of his head too.
Well, and the girl is probably thinking, well, is this one gonna start fucking my mom too? Like, how many of my boyfriends are my mom gonna fuck?
This is too fucked up and opens up too much shit. This is one of those where it's like, this guy has to go one way or another.
He's got to go.
So and this is a fucked up thing because grandma, and also we haven't even delved into the relationship between mom and daughter because that's another classically fucked up situation.
Right.
How many used to be hot moms have almost like a rivalry with their hotter daughter?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's that weird psychological fucked up thing. Now I don't know if that's the case here, but if that's the case, then it's going to be hard to beat this because there's nothing better for the mom who used to be hot who still wants to prove it to her daughter. It's like, well, now I'm getting your fucking I'm satisfying your old man. You know what I mean? So the only thing I can think of is you need to get her some nicer, younger cock. You need to fucking find someone who's gonna fucking blow her shit out. You need someone with a huge dick. I don't know I don't know if I'm up for the task, honestly.
Really?
They need like a hard huge
cock.
dick.
Yeah.
Like this needs to be on someone needs to wear this old bitch out. Right. Like really blast her pussy apart.
Right.
We're talking a hard 9.5.
Dude, or I don't know where you
thick.
live. It's probably like the middle of the country, dude. This is a perfect situation for fentanyl. You just put a little fentanyl right under this guy's nose.
Yeah, this guy has to go. He's got to go one way or another. You either fuck it out of the old lady or you kill this man.
You go Breaking Bad, Ricin, whatever it takes, dude.
But we agree that this is fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
You got to scheme and get this fucking guy out of the picture. Because eventually, he's lurking. He's going to get another crack at the mother of his 3 children. Oof, I would not want to be that fucking guy.
No thanks.
So go ahead, Elders.
I'm just imagining this guy and the grandma like at the kid's birthday party, and they have like an innocent little peck, and then like the guy's just looking right at the collar, like just looking him right in the eyes. That's all the guy sees is like these little indirect glances at him from this guy. That's like, motherfucker.
I would love to watch an indie movie about this. This is fascinating. And this ends in murder. This would be this is a great plot for a movie. Oh, truly. Like a weird, almost horror movie. This is a horror movie.
This is a murder. This is 100% a murder, suicide, unsolved. Like after this voicemail, you should have just heard investigate.
Hit us with another one, LD. So you're good with now that you're up 2-1. There's no insecurities.
Dude, no, we're fucking boys.
Yo, That's awesome.
Everything is fucking all good with us. Yeah, no, it's more than it's fine.
That's great. Yeah. That's some real maturity there.
Yeah, because dude, that's people who get insecure about that. It's like it's never gonna. The kids are the most important part of the relationship. So it's like you gotta fucking let it go.
Give the other one shittier presents.
That's it.
You let that one know you're below my daughters. In this house, there's a hierarchy.
Hey, Stav. Big fan of the show, and just listened to your episode with Mark Norman. I actually live in the D.C. area, and saw him in D.C. and you in Richmond this past
thank you
year.
very much.
So,
thanks for coming.
Again, big fan of you both. And also, you said to call in if you're a teacher and you want to fuck. So there's that. But
hey, what's up? Well, you should have said something when I was in Richmond.
Because I'm a single 34-year-old. I've been in some relationships before, but for the past couple years, it's mostly been single, dating, some casual situations. So been having a good time.
Hell yeah.
I've been on the apps, but I like meeting people out in person. I went to the Arlington Draft House last weekend and I met a guy after, had a great time. So definitely enjoyed some fun.
Draft House.
But I'm kind of looking to maybe find something more substantial again.
Sure.
So I just feel like I don't want to give off too much of a, low key, let's watch comedy, have a good time vibe, but also not that I'm in my mid-30s, let's lock it down kind of vibe. And I'm not even really sure that I want kids, so I'm not in a rush, but I'll be 35 this spring, so just trying to find the balance of the two. Any advice you have? Thanks so much. And hi, Aldous. Love the pod. Thank you both. Bye.
Okay,
beautiful.
So this is I think I honestly, how you said you were you related to a past call. I really relate. You related to the guy who was not using who was trying to use. I relate to this because I too am a little slut that's thinking maybe it's time to lock up this boy pussy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Find a long-term owner for this little 5 3/4.
Right.
So I get that. I understand it because it's it's nice to go out and suck and fuck, but eventually you're like, all right, let's fucking settle down.
Yeah.
So I can tell you what my thought process is for me. Now, right now I'm on tour and I'm super busy until July. I've realized of trying to get a real relationship to work, that is work. You have to actually invest in that.
Right.
You have to not worry about this connection to this person and really invest in that over time. And I fucked up relationships while I've been touring that I just kind of let go by the wayside that I regret and that I wish I could have back. So I've realized for me, I'm gonna have to wait until I have I'm taking the whole summer off from touring. I'm going to stay in New York. And even in the fall, I'm going to be a little more I'm not going to be out as much.
Right.
So it's second half of the year, I want to kind of just make it a priority. And especially when you have something, you're up against something, which that being in your mid 30s, when people feel the clock ticking, when people feel the the pressure of oh, does she want to be in a fucking serious relationship? And that's a whole other thing that fucks it up. I think you have to be very intentional with who you're dating and how much and the effort you're putting into it. And maybe stop sucking people off after you both saw Mark Norman at the Draft House.
Right.
Maybe wait a couple dates until his dick goes in your mouth. Maybe throw on a YouTube special, Live at the Lodge Room.
Right.
So
great special.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. It's no special weshy. But thank you. So what I'm going to say is you're just going to have to really focus on this as a goal, like it's any other almost self-improvement thing. Right. You're not going to see results immediately.
Right.
You're going to have to go on a bunch of dates, and they might not pan out because you're looking for something. And you have to always be thinking, do I want... Because right now, both of us, me and our caller here, we're thinking would it be fun to fuck this person? And... most of the time, the answer is yes.
Yeah,
it's tough to fail that test.
It's awesome.
But if the test then becomes, do I see a potential? And it doesn't have to be you don't have to be is this my husband? But you have to at least be do I see a potential for at least something long term with this person?
Right.
And if the answer is no, then you have to move on, even if there would be something fun and short term there.
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing for me is to it's but come on, it'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
It'd be fun.
Well, I agree with that because you have to live your life. You're only in your mid-30s. The callers, both you guys, only in your mid-30s. You're very, very young. Kids, no kids, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, whatever. It's not about that. I think, listen, you're having fun. Don't regret any of the decisions that you've made. Whenever you suck the waiter's dick at the Draft House, it happens. You don't think
We've all been there.
Good. I've done it. Then we went to Bobanitas.
Bobanitas.
Yeah. I took him out to Bobanitas the next morning. And then it happened.
Yeah, and dude. Fuck, what was the Irish bar across the street?
I forgot.
Oh, they would have a horrible DJ there afterwards. Anyway.
So I think listen, we're all bags of chemicals, right? So as you get older or younger, whatever, your chemicals, imbalance changes, and maybe now you want something different. So I agree with Stavvy. Just trust your gut on that, and just, still have fun, go live life. I think when the right person comes into your life, it'll be screamingly obvious.
Interesting.
Screamingly obvious. It'll happen. I got stopped dead in my tracks when I met Jasmine, mother of my kids, my girl. Like, I was having fun, banging, single guy, and then dead in my tracks it happened. It was obviously what I needed to do, and that's what happened. So maybe it just hasn't happened yet. There's a lot of people, dude. It's life can be long. So
for sure.
Just do it, don't beat yourself up.
Don't beat yourself up. Have a good time. And look, if it's taking a while, I'm not saying you can't go, take a couple loads for fun. You know what I mean?
Why the hell not?
You could go on a couple dates with somebody you really care about and think, oh, this might work, and then it doesn't work out, and then you're sad. Then you can give yourself a little week to be a little slut again and just, get it out of your system. Then clear head, full pussy, get out there and find the next one.
Keep a roster too. It seems like she wouldn't mind this or would know how to balance that. Keep a few true. Ongoing dick appointments going, and
that's true.
Then be on the prowl for hey, I'm not expecting anything from these guys. I'm just getting my fuck on. And
no, that's a good point. That I always feel, because you also don't want to feel too desperate.
Right.
So if you have a little backup of the bench that you can call in when you need to get cleared out, that's always nice. Good. That's always good.
Little reserve dick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do a fucking another one here, LD.
We're at it's 120 right now, by the way, Chris.
We'll do one more.
We'll do one more. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. These damn fucking Spanish kids.
Hey, Stavvy, quick question.
So,
I have a real hard time completing tasks. So, if I do my laundry, I can wash it, dry it, fold it. But, I just struggle to find the motivation to put it away. And that kind of goes for everything. So, if I go grocery shopping, I go to the store, I put the bags on the counter, and I just have a hard time putting them away. Or at work, if I have to clean a bunch of different, areas, I have to hop between the areas. I can't clean one area completely and move on to the next. So how do I find the motivation to just complete tasks and stuff like that? Thank you.
This is a tough one, man. You're asking us how to.
By the way, this is the if you ask me to describe a podcast listener in one voicemail, this is it. This is who listens to all our shit.
Yeah, bud. Look, we've all been there. That's probably why you have to. I'm the same way.
Right.
Where it's I don't want to do any of that shit. That's why they're listening to podcasts, because they can't be alone with their thoughts, and they just have to put a podcast in and enjoy doing a fucking chore.
Yeah. Oh, well, listen, I don't know for sure, but if you're, smoking a lot of weed or doing a lot of edibles, all that stuff is fun. All that stuff is great. I encourage you to keep doing it, but maybe try to limit it a little bit, and you'll get some of the. I think what happens too is like you said, a lot of times life is tough, and people they need distractions from life. But sometimes if you just sit alone, like you said, with your thoughts, if you sit for a day without any type of substances at all, alcohol or drugs, I bet you some of those tasks get done a little quicker, because you're just kind of taking life head on, and then it's almost like a breath of fresh air where you're like, oh shit, I'm here, I'm alive, I got to do something. But also you're also probably beating yourself up more. I bet you your life, you think you can't, you're doing more than you actually think you're doing. People who are truly unmotivated, are doing nothing, are homeless in the streets, they're in prison, you're like a functioning member of society.
People in prison are pretty motivated. They just got caught.
Yeah.
And the homeless are probably just more mentally ill than this guy who sounds depressed.
I was gonna say you sound a little depressed. You might want to call. Think of other numbers to call, like 1-800 helplines and shit like that. But I don't think that this is as big a deal. Also, I don't know how old you are. I mean, dude, if you're in your mid-20s, fine. But if you're 51 and you're acting like this, then I get it. I agree with your ex-wife.
Yeah, Stav, I just can't get a good deal on a studio apartment ever since I got kicked out. So, okay, yes, here's the answer. You either are depressed, you have ADD, you smoke too much weed, and it's probably a combination of all three, if we're being honest. Yeah. And the way to cure all that stuff, and look, obviously, I'm not a doctor, whatever, but if it's any of that stuff, it's you want more energy, you need to you can smoke a little less weed, or go the other way, take some uppers. take some Adderall. You take Adderall to do basic chores.
Yeah.
It is a treat, but it's a treat for yourself. Don't get addicted to it. I love when I know I have to clean, popping a little Addy.
Never taken one, but when I was a kid.
Oh,
I took them when I was a kid, but never as an adult. But I want to get into them. Everybody I know who takes Adderall is fucking living their dreams.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's like the first day you do it, you're like, I am the most productive man alive.
Yeah.
I will succeed in everything.
Yeah.
And then the second day, it's like, it never works as good.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, why can't I get the magic back?
Yeah.
So it's really, it's like a treat that I would space out every 2 weeks so that it's fully out of your system.
Right.
And the one that, when you have a lot of shit to do and you want to be you want to be in the right mind frame for it.
Right, okay.
Because it's not like a magic pill where it's like, whoa, I got to do all, you got to be like motivated.
Like it can give you terrible, crippling anxiety and shit if you're not careful.
I think, I've definitely fallen into those loops where it's like, now I'm just beating off and checking Instagram with more, you know what I mean? With more attention.
Yeah.
But the days where I'm like, I need to get this done, I've been thinking about this, and I pop an Addy, it's fucking awesome, dude. Like I wrote a script in like a fucking 4 days. You know what I mean? Just like, and it was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I was motivated. I was up against a deadline.
Yeah.
So so either take some Adderall, but look, face your shit a little bit. Try and treat your depression, the underlying causes. Waking up early is kind of nice. You know what I mean? Getting a little exercise. Sitting down and doing, if you have ADD, if you have a problem doing all this shit, dude, you will be surprised by sitting down and making a list of the things you have to. There have been days where I'm like, my God, how am I going to get this done? And then I sit down. It's 3 things.
Yeah.
When you see it like bam, it's like send 2 emails, do your dishes, and pack. But I've been like, there's so much tomorrow, and then I'm like, I do it in 45 minutes.
I was gonna say a big thing that I've done too is I time myself like like say folding laundry. I'd be like, I'll see a pile of laundry. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna take me all day, and then I'll put myself on a timer, and it takes like 11 minutes. But your mind can convince you because time is not real. It's all made up.
Or another thing where it's a task I really don't want to do. I do the opposite, and I set a timer. And I'm like, I will do this for 15 minutes. And then I get in the habit. And if the timer goes off and I don't feel like doing it, I stop and I did something. Or like cleaning. I'm a big cleaner timer guy.
Right.
And it's like, but usually when you've been doing it for 15 minutes and you need another 5, you're like, fuck it, I'll finish it now.
Yeah.
But there's just like a bunch of little tricks you have to do for your dumb head.
Yeah. All right. So the answer to you is do more drugs.
Do more drugs. But other than that, I would say ignore all that and just get Adderall one way or another.
Yeah. And join Stavvy's Patreon. Is really the only answer.
That actually the real answer. If you join the Patreon, you will immediately, all your tasks will get done so much faster.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But that's it, buddy. We're rooting for you. You're gonna be okay. You're probably depressed as hell. Your life probably sucks dick.
Yeah.
And you should probably fix the underlying causes for why you feel so lethargic. It ain't about the supermarket shit. Believe me.
Yeah.
The rest of your life was probably bad, and let's work on that. Call back if you need more. If you want to talk about what you're actually sad about, because this isn't your actual problem.
Right. I agree.
But we believe in you. Anyway, Chris, you got to pick up your.
I got to pick up my kids, man, before the Albanians get her.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Thanks for having me, baby.
Got to come back. We got to get into so much more. But
I'll come back whenever you guys want.
Anytime.
And you come do Chrissy Chaos and Hey Babe again.
I'm coming for sure. Thank you guys. That's going to do it for us. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.